Greetings, Mega Man fans, and welcome back to the Mega Man 42 LPA. In this episode, we'll be taking our first step into Dr. Wily's fortress. This could be interesting. I don't know, we'll see. And classic Mega Man 1 style UFO and intro in some ways. Wait a minute, something's missing. What? What? Huh? What? Those are not his feet! Those are not his feet! Where in the world did he get the idea that those are his feet? Huh? What? I got nothing. I'm just gonna forget that ever happened, and, here we are in the first stage of the Wily Symond. Yes, Wily Symond. I'm pretty sure that's not its actual name, but that's what I'm calling it because seriously, it looks like a Wily Sphinx pyramid. Wily Symond. Now, full disclosure of two facts. One, the Wily stages in this game have some of the best music this game has to offer. I actually really like the Wily tunes. Like, really. And then the second thing, expect plenty of weapon use. In these stages, it borders on vital. That being said, I won't be using them for this section since I'm pretty much just dealing with tooth fairies right now. And rollers. And we've seen plenty of them from other stages already. However, I do want my shield piercer for dealing with those guys, so that I never have to struggle with their irritating behaviors again, if I can at all help it. I still don't like grenadiers. Still. And that scopper right there is evil. You cannot stop moving while you're on that ladder. If you stop moving, that scopper is going to hit you. It's guaranteed. And so if you stop moving on the ladder, you may as well climb back down and then climb back up, because you're going to be taking a hit. Fortunately, that second one is a little easier to deal with. And this section right here is also pretty simple. It used to be far more irritating. Not deadly, but irritating to get through. Simply because it required you to pull off some very awkward and irritating jumps. Fortunately, the change in jump physics made those jumps basically impossible. So, the place got a lot easier as a result. And the ball throwers here, well, the setup here is, it's no Artman stage, that's for sure. And we have a bit of a split path. I suppose it kind of goes without saying, but the top path is the better choice. And I think I just slipped my buster past the Saber-Joe's shield back there. Huh. Didn't know you could do that with these guys. And Launcher, unfortunately, gets, like, nothing useful done whatsoever. And one reason why the top path is just unquestionably the better one, less spikes to deal with, and less enemies. Taking the top path is just overall plain easier. Likewise with those scoppers, they were just plain easier than the first set of them. And guess what? We're done the stage. Yeah, that was the entire first fortress stage of Mega Man 42. It's fast, and quite frankly, it's pretty easy. It's a very short stage, and doesn't really do a whole lot. A lot of the enemies that show up in here aren't used quite as effectively as they would have been in their own stages. Roller gets a nice use at the beginning there, since you cannot skip past it, no matter what you try to do. As a result, it actually ends up a little more difficult to deal with than most examples. It also has a little difficulty curve, since you can fight the first one outside of that hallway, you don't get that luxury with number 2 and number 3. The other enemy that works halfway decently is Scopper. If only we had a proper difficulty curve set up for that thing. But it actually ends up being a little more threatening in at least one instance, compared to how it was used in Zombie Man stage. Which, that's fine, you know, it should be a little nastier in the fortress. But otherwise, this place really isn't as interesting as any of the stages before it. Kinda disappointing, really. Anyway, this next boss fight, I am going to be using the boss's weakness, Thunderhammer. The reason for this is not the same as Madman's. No, I actually find this boss to be a little easy, so long as I don't get complacent. No, the problem is, this is one of the longest boss fights in the entire game. Yes, that's right. Had to happen sooner or later. We are dealing with a devil boss. I don't have the official name for this thing. It's the only boss that I don't have the official name for. But I, personally, like to call it the Wheel Devil. Because really, it looks like it's got a bunch of wheels on it. And, you know, it's an interesting... Ow. It's an interesting yes. It's an interesting take on the devil bosses. It has a similar behavior to the Mega Man 1 devil, in that it flies in from the side of the screen, and then starts doing its usual splitting routine, and then its eye appears on a random location on its body, and then it starts shooting at you. But the main difference, besides its smaller size, because it feels smaller, is that it is also... its pieces also follow, you know, basic laws of physics, with them either rolling or bouncing towards you. And that happened. I didn't know it could do that. That was kind of rude. But yeah. And a little small preview of the next Fortress stage. Why is there a VHS tape down there? That's a little strange. And just grab a quick refill because reasons. And that was it. That was the first Fortress stage of Mega Man 42. The stage was kind of boring. The Wheel Devil fight? I can't complain too much. If you know its pattern, it's actually incredibly easy to deal with. And if you're good at timing Thunderhammer, as you saw, you can get upwards of 3 hits on the thing for every pass, so you can kill it a little more quickly than most double types. Fighting it Buster only is plenty doable, but trust me, it takes forever. And quite frankly, I figure you guys wouldn't be interested in watching me fight a devil for half an hour or so. Anyway, with that, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you, well, right here, basically. So yeah, until then, goodbye!